Hello. Hello, hello, hello. 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 I'm just gonna give it a minute, guys, till people join up, and then we can get going. How's everyone doing? How's everyone doing? Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. We'll get going now. Yeah. To be fair, I hope we all learned something today. You know, we're just gonna go through what they're saying, and I've had a quick look. I mean, I didn't look too much, and it seems to be saying the same things. The Labour and the Green Party. So I was gonna just do a comparison because they're pretty much saying the exact same thing. So whoever you vote for, you're gonna be pretty screwed if you're voting for one of these parties if you're a Christian. So. Anyways, so this is the Green Party, and everybody here, you know, we have this man here, who is the vice president, and he is an Islamic extremist. So I wouldn't be surprised, you know, if him himself, he wrote this page to help hide, you know, Islam, what it really is, to the Western world, which is what I think they do. You know, all of them, I think they do this. They all lie, and they all say, you know, we are a peaceful religion, we don't hate anybody. Let's have a look, because these are some of his tweets. I mean, this is everywhere. This is just one of the links I found. But he claimed that on October 7th, people should support the right of the indigenous people to fight back. Yeah, that's what he claimed. That includes people who are brown, that includes people who are Muslim, that includes people who are Arab. Just because they are brown and Arab doesn't mean they don't have the right to fight back. So then he goes And Ali, he says, sorry for any upset my comments about the Gaza conflict. I do not support violence on either side. Violence leads to more violence. You know, he just goes back on his word. But anyways, he's at this speech, you know, with all these terrorists here. I mean, we have self-hating white people here as well. You know, this person, he has suicidal empathy. And he's there and he's screaming, Allahu Akbar. Let me try find this, you know, for him screaming Allahu Akbar. You know, there's so many of them. I have to scroll so much because, you know, all of my page is just people who are. Here we go. Here we go. Let's pull the video.
I've got none. I really have nothing to say apart from shame on this country. Shame on the Western governments who've allowed...
Shame on the Western! Shame on the Western! Shame on you! 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 Shame on you!
But I've got none.
And then, I mean, he goes on to say, Allahu Akbar. You know, this is what we're letting in. This is who are in our parties now. So let's see, you know, what these people... I mean, look, she is surrounded by them. And, you know, I'm sure one of these Muslims, they wrote this article. Because it says, Islamophobia is rooted in racism. This is the exact same mistake that you find on the Labour policies. Look, if we turn to the Labour policies, the whole thing, I mean, if I just type race, you know, race, the whole thing is about race. When people, they criticize Islam, we are not saying this is a brown person. Yeah, I mean, where is he from? I mean, obviously not here. You know, so let's just see, you know, racism. I mean, look how many racisms there are. If we keep on going down, we keep on going down, we keep on going down. And then we can probably type race as well. And then we can probably type ethnicity as well. Look, if I just type ethnic, race, and racism, I mean, it takes up the whole page. When did an ideology become a race? I mean, how woke have we gone? How stupid have we gone? Anyways, let's read what it says. Islam is rooted in racism. It's not. Islamophobia, I mean, first of all, this word doesn't exist. If they're talking Islamophobia as criticism of Islam, this is definitely not rooted in racism. It's rooted in what their texts say. And is a type of racism that targets expressions. I mean, what is expressions of Muslimness? I mean, is the expression that they want to come and scream that they want Sharia law? Is that the expression that they have? Is the expression that let me show you. You know, sheikhs, they all over the UK, they are in the mosque saying, we want to take over the West. We want to take over the UK. You know? Muslims are here to take over. I mean, this guy, he's a mayor. Did you know that? Look, this guy. This guy here. He's a candidate for mayor. This guy. So they are trying to take over here, you know? This is all they do. I mean, it's mental that this is even happening.
Into American society and disappear. We want to.
Look, even women, they say it. Look.
We do not want to melt into American society and disappear. We want to go into American society with Islamic ideals and revamp their thinking. We want to revamp them. We want to turn them into Muslim individuals. We shouldn't have feelings of a distaste for them or intolerance because they're potential Muslims. Education is one of the most important areas that Muslims have to address. And while our final objective, is not just to become part of the system that we experience now and that we see, our final objective is to create our own Islamic systems, and not only create Islamic systems for Muslims, but to look at all the other people who are sharing this country with us as potential Muslims. And in that long-range process,
do you see? In the long-range process. I mean, look at this as well. Do you see?
To swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance. Do swear that I will be faithful and bear.
I mean, this guy, he can barely speak English, and he's swearing allegiance in the Scottish Parliament.
True allegiance to His Majesty King Charles, his heirs and successors, according to law. To His Majesty King Charles, his heirs and successors.
His hairs? Did he say his hairs? Look.
Majesty King Charles, his heirs and successors.
Did you hear it? I mean, what's he doing? He's going and checking his hairs. You know, Muhammad, when he used to go to war, he used to check the pubic hair of boys. And then he would behead them. Did you know that? Did you know that, guys? Look. We were presented to the Messenger of Allah on the day of Quraydah. Those whose pubic hair had grown were killed, and those whose pubic hair had not grown were let go. Is this what he's talking about? You know, I mean, when Muhammad he does this, he has to pull down the trousers of boys. He has to pull them down. And you know, Arabs, if you ever met Arabs, they are very hairy anyways. So you know, like me, I'm British. So I don't have much hair on my face. But you know, when you see an Arab, and he's like 10 years old in your primary school, he has a full beard. So these people grow hair more than normal. So these people were probably very young, and he would pull down their panties and check if they have one pubic hair, and if they did, he would behead them and kill them. This is Islam. Sorry, when he said hairs, that just reminded me of that.
So help me God. So help me God. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I, Anas Sarwar, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance. Do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance. To His Majesty King Charles, his heirs and successors, according to law. To His Majesty King Charles, his heirs and successors, according to law. So help me God. So help me God. I, Zengani.
Do you see? More.
To swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance.
To swear that I will.
His heirs and successors, according to law.
To His Majesty King Charles, his heirs and successors, according to law.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Do you see, guys? So yeah, let's continue on the Islamophobia. So that's what they're getting wrong. I mean, so far. It's rooted in racism, it's a type of racism, blah blah. It's not. Racism is completely different. Ready? Anti-Muslim hate refers to targeted acts of hostility, violence, or discrimination directed at individual or groups simply because they are or perceived to be Muslim. Many people from majority backgrounds, i.e. Arabs and Sikhs and just Black and South Asian community, also face discrimination and dehumanization. Where? I mean, literally where? What can a black person do that a white person can't do, or a white person do that a black person, you know? There's nothing anymore. This is so stupid. Just division. They are causing division. And they are even saying that Islamophobia is broader than racism. It's broader. I mean, all they're talking about is Islamophobia, Islamophobia, Islamophobia. Do they have a... I mean, look. This is the same thing that Labour are doing. War on terror. Muslim communities were cast as subject and subjected to disproportionate surveillance, state scrutiny, and discrimination. So when our sources are telling us on the MI5 watch list, 75% are Islamic terrorists. Look. Look. Let me show you. Look. 75% of our watch list is Islamic extremist terrorists. Scum of the earth. Why do you think that these people are slightly more suspicious of Muslims? Why do you think? Is it just because we see, some random guy and we think, oh, he could be a terrorist because he's brown? No, are you stupid? These people go around randomly blowing up in places. That's why, we are more suspicious of them. Yes, 75%. People of color perceived as Muslim. I mean, this is just so stupid. All of this is stupid. What I wanted to show you guys, I want to see, because, look, this is the main thing. Okay, here we go. Making statements that equate Muslims with misogynists, pedophiles, uneducated people who sponge off the state. First of all, if you talk to any Muslim, they are always will defend pedophilia because their prophet was a pedophile. That's the first thing. Second of all, isn't it Muhammad who says that most of the women will fill up hell? Why? Why, guys? Why will the hell be mostly filled by women? Because they have not enough intelligence. Let me find the hadith. Here we go. This is the longer version of that one. Okay, so once Muhammad, he went out to Musalla to offer the prayer. Then he passed by the woman and said, "O women, give alms, as I have seen that the majority of the dwellers of hellfire were women." Why? Why? They say, why? Why? Why are most of the women in hell? Muhammad then he replied, "You curse frequently and are ungrateful to your husbands." I mean, isn't it men who are ungrateful to their wives as well? I mean, isn't everyone a bit, ungrateful at certain times? No? No, because this religion is made by a man and he just wants to please all the men, so he has control of them. I have not seen anyone more deficient in intelligence and religion than you. I have not seen anyone more deficient in intelligence and religion than all women. Do you know why they are deficient in religion? Do you know why? Because Isn't it true that a woman can neither pray nor fast during her menses? So they are deficient in religion because they have a period, and they can't pray because Muhammad, he says that you can't pray in your period. The woman replied in the affirmative. He said, this is the deficiency in your religion. And why is there intelligent stupid? You know, according to Muhammad, why are women stupid? He said, because is not the evidence of two women equal to the witness of one man? I mean, first of all, this is not even talking about intelligence, this is talking about memory. And if you look at statistics and the recent science on memory, women actually have better memory than men anyways. So this man, he knew nothing, and because he doesn't let women go to school, of course they are stupid. You know, look in Afghanistan, women can't go to school past the age of blah blah, or sometimes they can't even go to school anyways. How can they learn as much as a man and have as much intelligence as a man if they don't go to school, don't learn as much as them? You know, in the West, women do in school they are projected to do better than men anyways. So Muhammad, he makes a big mistake again. And this is Bukhari. So when the Muslim Greens, they say misogynists isn't categorizing women, all of women, as stupid and saying that their intelligence is so bad that they cannot even give a witness statement by themselves. Isn't that misogynistic? Isn't it pedophilia to have sex with a 9-year-old? Isn't that pedophilia? Isn't it pedophilia to fatten a girl up to have sex with her? Isn't that pedophilia? No? Am I wrong? Let's have a look at Aisha and how she was fattened up to go and be taken to the Prophet. Isn't it true that the Aisha was so small that she could be able to be fattened and bulked up off cucumbers? Isn't that true? So think about this. When Aisha's mother, she wanted to send her to Muhammad, nothing worked until I ate cucumbers. So imagine how small somebody's body has to be fattened up by cucumbers. I mean, you know, if you have ever been to the gym, you will know that your body has to be tiny to be fattened up by something that is such low calories as cucumber. Look, if we look up the calories of cucumbers, there is 15 to 16 calories in a cucumber. So if you eat one cucumber, you're only eating 30 calories. I mean, this is the diet, you know, of somebody who wants to lose weight, not gain weight if they are big. So when they say, you know, for example, let me show you something. When people, they say, when somebody, they say, you know, for example, they say that Aisha, she was 19 years old. You know, she's not. We have tens of hadiths that says that Aisha, she was 6 and married and had sex with at 9. So let's say, for example, let's be kind to Muhammad here. Let's say that she was one of the small 19-year-olds. She needs to eat 2,100 calories a day. Each cucumber contains 30 calories. Let's do this. So let's go to Grok. Let's go to AI now. Let's ask, if I need to eat one food, it's 30 calories, and a day I need 2,100 calories a day. How many of that food do I need to eat? Let's see. This is how many cucumbers. So Aisha, she needs to eat over 70 cucumbers a day to be fattened up. 70 cucumbers a day. How many is that a week? 490 a week she needs to eat. And you know, you don't just bulk up in 1 week. You know that, right? You need to bulk through many months. I mean, she is eating hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of cucumbers. Isn't this stupid? So look, when they say misogynist and pedophiles, I've proven you that they are that uneducated. Isn't it Muhammad who can't read? Isn't it Muhammad who can't write? Isn't it Muhammad who thought that he was under the influence of a devil when he came to him? Isn't that Muhammad? People who sponge off the state. When refugees, they come here, they can't work, correct? We went through this yesterday already. They are given, you know, under the new law, they have to be given certain payments until 2039, right? Payments every week until 2039. How is that not sponging off the state? They get free housing. Let me pull this up, guys. So you know I'm not lying. So look, this is the plans for 2039. Doesn't it say regular welfare checks must be conducted for all asylum seekers? Doesn't it say that? So when they say people who sponge off the state, isn't it you who have just published something, Labour government, saying that you will give all asylum seekers regular welfare checks until 2039? All of these statements I've just debunked in 2 minutes. Making comments that imply Muslims have come here illegally. Isn't it hundreds, close to thousands of illegals that come here every day from the Middle East? Who are pretty much all Muslim? Making comments that Muslims should be grateful for being allowed in Britain. Isn't it Muslims who should be grateful to be here? I mean, they come here, they say, oh, I'm persecuted in my home, I'm gay, you know, I don't want to be gay, I'm gay. And then they come here and then they want to impose Sharia. Isn't that them? So how are they not showing gratitude to us for letting them live here and live in freedom as well? Guys, look. Muslims can never be loyal to Britain because Britain does not have the Sharia. If somebody is a real Muslim, they want to spread Islam. This is what Islam is. I mean, didn't Muhammad, when he migrated, first of all, he played the victim card. Oh, they kicked me out, oh, blah, 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 to the 3 tribes who were Jewish. And in the end, all 3 tribes were killed by Muhammad. Isn't it 53 Muslim countries who are all Christian, Jewish, Zoroastrian? Isn't that them? So should those 53 Muslim countries have all been a little bit more careful of letting in the Mohammedans? Exactly. Making comments that imply that Quranic teachings are backward. I mean, are these people stupid? Seriously, are you stupid? I don't want to go over again, like every day, the same teachings. But doesn't the Quran teach to beat your wife if she disobeys you? Isn't the Quran who teaches that you can have sex slaves, you can rape the women who still have a husband? Isn't it the Quran who says that you can have sex with children? Isn't it the Quran who says that women need to cover their whole bodies and only show one eye so that they don't be molested and raped. Isn't it the Quran? Isn't it the Quran who says that the sun sets in murky water? Is that not backward? Isn't it the Quran who says that the world is flat? Isn't it the Quran who says that the shaitan he spoke to Muhammad and put on his tongue polytheism? Isn't that backward? Didn't Allah abrogate it, showing that that was backward? Is that not the Quran, guys? And reductive to women and other groups. I mean, maybe, you know, this woman, she's standing at the front here. Maybe she just thinks, you know, her husband beating her is okay. Maybe, you know, she's had a sudden change of mind that she shouldn't show her hair so that she shouldn't be molested by this guy here. I mean, you know, who's he holding? Is it his wife or his child? Which one? Because we don't know. In Islam, we don't know these things. I want to show you one thing as well. How can anti-Muslim hatred affect Christian and Jews? I mean, yesterday I went through some things. I want to show you something. You know, I will expel the Jews and the Christians from the Arabian Peninsula and not leave any but a Muslim. First of all, he tried to do this, but still there are Jews and Christians in the Arabian Peninsula, so he failed. You know, here he says, if I live, inshallah, I will certainly expel. I mean, this guy, he didn't know anything. He doesn't know what he's going to do. He didn't have one miracle. He didn't have one prophecy come true. You know, if I live, shall certainly expel. I mean, Allah, he didn't tell you whether you're going to do it or not. I mean, here he says, I will expel, and this is Sahih Muslim. Now he says, if I live, if Allah wills. I mean, aren't you a prophet? Isn't Allah meant to tell you the things that he's going to do? But look, we have the Green Party who are all about open borders. They love open borders. They are saying this is racism to not accept all these migrants. They're coming here on boats. They're good for our society. They are all, you know, perfect humans. Oh, yeah, they have beautiful, you know, the Quran is beautiful. You can't criticize it. You can't even imply. Look, the word is imply. You can't even imply the Quranic teachings are backward, let alone speak about it. So, then we have Muhammad here, who is apparently, I mean, according to their view, this would be some right-wing extremist fascist, because he is saying that he's going to close the border and expel everyone from the Arabian Peninsula. He doesn't want anybody apart from his ethnicity, the Muslims. Do you see the problem? Do you see how they just go back and back and back and forward and back and forward and back, and every single point that they make I can refute? I mean, imagine a debate with this woman. Imagine somebody who actually knew Islam. I mean, they bring, you know, Tommy Robinson or somebody like that into a debate about, you know, should the West be fearful of Islam? I mean, Tommy Robinson, he gave a decent speech, but at the end of the day, he's not a scholar in Islam. You know, they don't bring somebody like Christian Prince, Sam Shamoun, anybody who actually understands Islam. They bring somebody who studied it now. I mean, he made some good points. But still, I mean, the guys, they lie through the whole thing. Maybe we can look at that quickly. I want to show you how actually there's this one guy. He's a British. He's a revert. You know reverts? They just basically, they hate being British, so they revert and, You know, they want to die, basically. They want everybody in the UK to get raped. So they revert. Let me show you. Oxford debate. Let me just debunk this guy in 3 seconds. Oxford debate, full. Oxford debate. Should the West be fearful? Where's the full one? Ah, this is the full one? Okay.
A complete
Okay.
Lot more beans that I could spill to be
Look, this guy.
No,
So he's a Muslim. And look what he says about chapter 65, verse 4.
it's well documented that Tommy was in the Luton firm called the Mix.
Point of information. This debate is not about Tommy Robinson, what he does in his free time, what he thinks about it. It's about whether the West should be suspicious of Islam.
He's the one telling you about suspicious of Islam. So it's important that I take his credibility about how to say that. Okay, the arguments that he had in Luton while he was in the Mix, which was a Luton Town football firm gang, whatever it is, most towns and cities have them. Okay, that's what his time. There was other gangs in Luton. Wasn't the only one. No, there was other gangs in Luton. One of them was called the Gambinos. One of them was called the Yellows. I know these are ridiculous names, but we are talking ridiculous people in these gangs at the time. Let me finish, please. Okay, so I've taken a few points of information. Just seem to do it now just to stifle because no, I'm not taking any from you. Okay, the problems that these gangs had, as Tommy would say, was either religious and or racial between Pakistanis and his football guys, was really not racial. It wasn't racial. It wasn't religious. It was normally like most gangs, supply and demand of product. Okay, that's what it comes down to. Tommy would also say that there was an extremist group in Luton. No, there was an extremist group in Luton called Al Marjaroon. I agree with him. It was an extremist group, and I made my opposition to this group vocal at that time when they was there. You know, but even a broken clock can be right twice a day. This group was tiny. It was 8 strong at most, with maybe 8 hangers-ons, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. They were barred from every mosque I knew. I don't know all of the mosques, but they were barred from every mosque that I knew. Most of the shops in the town, the Muslim shops, they didn't want to let them in either. But the amplification of their message was done by the media. The media would go to the predominantly Muslim populated area in Luton called Berry Park. They'd walk down there with a camera. They'd stick it in front of these guys, and it would be straight in front of it. It wasn't. No, it was amplified deliberately to cause friction between communities. That small extremist group doesn't exist anymore. I believe they've been disbanded, and they don't even hang around with each other anymore. I could tell it. Yes. Okay.
If you consume booze, you consume drugs, and if you lend money to interest, you're suspicious of Islam.
No, I said if you invested in... Because Islam has come as an alternate choice to that. Islam has come as an alternate way of life to that. I think I explained it when I mentioned it the first time. There's a lot more I want to tell you. Time does not permit me to speak here for an hour. So obviously, I can't go into detail.
So look, at the beginning he said, if you are invested in drink, if you are invested in certain things, you should be suspicious of Islam. When he said that, he's inferring that Islam will take over the West. Because why would we be suspicious if we are invested in the pub? Why are the pubs going to close anyway? You know, he's lying, but I just want to find one thing that he says.
About this group of Al Marjaroon, because I was one of the trusted go-betweens from mosques in Luton that was trying to get them to stop talking. As P says, a lot of the time, there's not enough calling out of Muslims in the public. But it does happen. There was 500 mosques that wrote an email condemning the grooming gangs, but it never really got out there. And they all done that, okay? They done that years ago. I think it's 2013. Anyway, these mosques in Luton was a go-between between the Al Marjaroon group and the mosque was me, because I was a trusted go-between. Even though I was anti this group, they still trusted me to go between them. And I know that most of Luton didn't want them there. It wasn't the case. Okay, like I said, I would love to say more. There's a lot more beans that I could spill, to be quite honest with you. So let me give you a version of Luton that I recognise. Tommy has a version of Luton that he recognises, pensioner homes or care homes. I never once had. So listen. So I was working at this care home. If I had the truth and didn't want to share it with you people, who would I be if I knew that Islam or believed at least that Islam was the truth and I didn't want to share it with you people because I thought it was the best thing? If I had a big plate of food and you was hungry and it cost me nothing to give you food, it cost me nothing. No, it cost me nothing to give you food. Why would I not give you food?
Maybe it's at the beginning.
I know you do, mate. So I just take this opportunity to thank you guys. So the real question, I believe the first question was, should the West be suspicious of Islam? Was that the question of the debate? You're nodding your head, so it must be. Right, so Tommy, wait, I'm going to one here, but I'm going to answer that. Tommy's been saying the same thing for 15 years and still has to read it. Right, yeah, no, you still have to read it, so obviously you don't know your case that well. So should the West be... Proven right. Yeah, right, sure, mate. So should the West be suspicious?
I think we ask that speeches be heard in some courtesy, gentlemen. If the point of information is declined, then please simply allow the speaker to continue.
I don't mind taking questions.
Well, it is for the speaker to choose whether a point of information is accepted. But without Mr. Dow, please continue.
I haven't started yet. Give me a minute. Right. So should the West be suspicious of Islam? Well, the truth of that is it's going to depend. Okay.
Look.
It's going to depend if you're invested in pornography, if you're invested in alcohol, if you're invested in interest banking, if you're invested in drink, drugs, criminality. Then probably you should be suspicious of Islam because Islam.
See? He's inferring here that Islam will take over and get rid of all the things. You know, pubs, alcohol. You know, all the things.
Come as an alternative way of life to that. Islam, what is it?
Could we add Judaism to that list?
Sure. Okay. But and you can't become a Jew. So not very easily. So Islam.
This guy, I know he gets his information from Instagram Reels. I just know it. I feel like he's a Instagram scroller, constant scroller. He just gets all of his information from stupid Abduls, and he's just stupid. Because watch what he says about chapter 65. Look what he's saying so far.
An alternative to those vices in this world. Okay. The real question should be, should the West be suspicious of Muslims practicing Islam in the West? That's the question. And why? Why would you be? Because Tommy says so. Because Tommy said that you
No.
should be suspicious of this religion and suspicious of practicing or, I don't know, extreme Muslims, okay? So let's talk a little bit about Tommy's credibility. Because Tommy has spent the last 15 years of building his credibility upon being a white man from Luton. And he's been... Go on.
This debate is not about Tommy Robinson.
It's about...
Mr. Dowd.
In these gangs at the time. Let me finish, please, okay? So I've taken a few points of information. You just seem to do it now just to stifle because, no, I'm not taking any from you, okay? Okay? The
Robinson,
problems
please,
that these gangs had, as Tommy would say, was either religious and or racial, but predominantly Muslim-populated area in the...
Let me try find it on his Instagram, wait. I know he's posted it on his Instagram. One sec, guys. I want to show you this because I think it's important when they're lying. Where is he? This guy.
Islam was an unbelievable display of gaslighting, distraction, and I actually found it quite embarrassing because not a single good point was made.
Cannot serve two masters. You can only be loyal to one master, and I'll tell you now.
Where did he say that part? I'm confused because I remember him saying that, but I couldn't find it in this video.
The Al-Marjourine group and the mosque was me because I was a... So what? If I had... It's over-represented. So what?
And do you understand?
Who I and as well.
Eat again.
So I don't think that I need to... they and they, how dare he say a man that is ignorant within the religion of Islam talk about reforming of Islam and give it to you people for a minute so you could taste the sweetness of Iman, and then you would never be suspicious of Muslims again. There is not a single head on anyone's hair apart from Tufties that I would touch unjustly, and that's inside and outside of this hall. I mean no harm to anybody. I will defend myself if I have to, but no Muslim that I know thinks like that either. Why wouldn't I want to share that? Where is the problem with that? My friend here, my colleague is going to deal with the age of Aisha. I dealt with it for 10 or 11 minutes on Liam's podcast, so I don't think I need to go into that again. My friend will deal with that. Okay. You mentioned the verse in the Quran about
Right, here we go.
married.
Here we go. Here we
You know
go.
what you're talking about. You said the word that's used for the female in the Quran is a word that's used for women. That ayah of the Quran was revealed because a man come to ask the Prophet, how do I divorce my wife if she does not have periods because she is past the age of period? She's a mature woman. That's
Not
what
true.
that was for.
Not
Then
true.
the verse was revealed. No.
He's talking about, you know, Isbal al-Nuzul. So if we go there, let me show you. He's talking about the reason that verses have come down. And if we go to that, let me copy and paste. Okay, listen. I mean, this will be very far down because chapter 65. Look. Hafsa, so Allah revealed this verse. It was, take her back, for she is the one who fasts often and stands up in night vigil prayer often, and she is one of your wives in the garden. As-Saudi said this was revealed about Abdul Allah ibn Omar, who divorced his wife while she was in her menses. The Messenger of Allah ordered him back to take her and keep her until the period of her menses was over and wait until she was off her menses. When she became pure, he was free to divorce her. So, no, here, sorry. When the verse, women who shall be divorced shall wait, said, "Oh, Messenger of Allah, what is the waiting period for women who do not menstruate? And the women who have not menstruated yet? What is the waiting period of pregnant women?" And so Allah revealed this verse. Some women of Medina saying, "There are the women who have not mentioned." He said, "Who are they?" "They are too young." I mean, this guy could not find me one tafsir who says that chapter 65 verse 4 is talking about older women. Every tafsir, every single explanation are saying it's for women who are too young to have menstruated. This is the reason for the Quran, and this is what he's talking about. I mean, obviously he read, maybe he read this here or something. I don't know what he read. Maybe he read this one. 65:1. I don't know. But he's read something, or he's getting his information, like I said before, from TikTok and Instagram Reels, I'm sure. So look, all of these things, it's very similar to the Labour Party. Labour say it's a race, Greens say it's a race. Labour says don't criticize the Quran. Or Greens say don't criticize the Quran. They are pretty much saying exactly the same thing, which is why if you are a Christian and you want to talk about, we want strong Christian values, don't choose one of these left-wing ideologies. Also, where is the anti-Christian? You must have seen on the streets that Christians are being put in prison for just speaking about the gospel. So where's the anti-Christian and where's the freedom of speech for Christians? Do you see, guys? Look. They are choosing white girls to rape. This is the rape gang inquiry. They are choosing us. They are choosing our women to rape instead of their own. Why? Because this goes back to the Quran. Chapter 33. When the verse of the hijab comes down, what do? They stop molesting the Muslim women. They start molesting the slave women. Look. Even they are raping boys. Sebastian. You can go down. Anna. You can go down. These are real people, guys. This is not just a number. I mean, I know 250,000, you start to think it's just a number. But we have cases and cases of real people. Look. And their stories. And they're all young. And they're all raped by Muslims. Do you see, guys? This page goes on for 100 pages. For more than hundreds. Do you see? These are all real people. And we are letting them in. Labour's not going to stop this, guys. They're going to protect the Muslim scriptures. Greens are not going to stop this. They are protecting the reason that these things are happening. I showed yesterday as well, guys. This is the worst part. You know, if you're saying, you know, to yourself, you know, Labour's gonna fix this, you know, this is the new government, blah blah. Look who actually agreed to sign the parliament and to agreed to the rape gang inquiry. I mean, we have Reform and not one of them signed this. We have Labour, not one of them signed this. We have Green, not one of them signed this. Rupert Lowe, he did this by himself, guys. This is an independent inquiry. And he managed to get all the facts. Look. You know when we said that they're not grateful? This is Muslims in Canada. Do you see how they respect and they're grateful? Wow, you know, we let them in, you know, we give them all these benefits, and then they start to say, oh, death to Canada. Look, it's everywhere, guys. It's not just a small problem. This is everywhere in the world. Do you see this, guys? So I mean, I guess that's everything for today. We haven't got much to say, to be honest, else we haven't got anybody, you know, with us in the call to give their opinion, or we haven't got any Muslims or anybody who votes for this party to say their opinion. So, I mean, I guess we can finish. Unless anybody have questions, objections in the chat. But that's all I wanted to say for today's video. So guys, thank you very much for watching. I don't see anybody's questions. Thank you very much for watching, and I will end the broadcast here.